Arsenal is facing competition on signing Danilo from Ajax and Monaco. Obviously, we are talking about Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli at the World Cup. Remember, Brazil has traveled today and they expect to arrive in Qatar today. Remember, they've been training in Italy and obviously they are going to fly directly to Qatar. Then lastly, there is a 15-year-old Arsenal boy or teenager that has made it to the squad of Arsenal that is going to be traveling down to Dubai, where Arsenal is going to be doing its training in this World Cup break season. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. And guys, if you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Smash the subscription button. Smash the subscription button by smashing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified each and every time I upload a video onto this channel. Now today, it's really a very great day that we are talking transfers. And thank you guys for really showing me love on this channel. And smash this video close to 200 times. Can we really have 200 likes on this video? Because the more you like this video, the more it really moves places onto this platform of YouTube, and some videos are being cut out and put on TikTok. Thank you for all those that are really doing that great job for Rokani Media Football. Now we're talking about Danilo. You know, Danilo is really a young guy. He's 20 years of age. He plays for Palmeiras in Brazil. Not so. Arsenal were in for him. You know that very well. Towards the end of the transfer window in the summer. That was on the 1st of September. Not so. I think that's when it really came to the end. And Danilo is really a very good player. He plays as a central defensive midfielder. And obviously, he's really one of those that Mikel Arteta is so much excited to go on and land at Arsenal. Look at the midfield of Arsenal. It's lacking an ideal replacement, all substitute, all a sitting player for Thomas Partey. Lokonga is good, but I believe the pressure is too much. And he played very well in the previous games, but I believe Mikel Arteta wants more. When you look at El Nini, injury prone, 30 years of age, the same applies to Thomas Partey. He's approaching 30 years of age. What does that mean? It means that the team of Arsenal really needs another player who is in his early 20s or mid 20s who can do that job when Thomas Partey can no longer do that job anymore at Arsenal. And obviously to enable a very efficient and ungrateful rotation. That's it. So, as things stand, Danilo is wanted by Arsenal. There is no doubt about it. Remember, when the money they put in, close to £25 million, were really rejected by Palmeiras, the reason given was they were into the Libertadores. It's like the Champions League of South America, and they felt like when you raise Danilo right now, it will be a very bad decision to make, because Danilo is one of those players that was pivotal in that Palmeiras team, and they thought they would go on and really win it. So they said they'll sell him in January. That's it. And Palmeiras are really willing to go on and sell this player in January. And the latest is that Arsenal have really gotten more competitors to go on and compete with on as far as signing Danilo is concerned. Palmeiras are willing to sell midfielder Danilo if there is an offer of 20 million euros. There is no offers on the table for the 21-year-old right now. Arsenal did make an offer in the middle of 2022 and had it rejected, but remain interested. Ajax and Monaco also in the mix. It's coming in from ESPN Brazil. So if you're watching this clearly and keenly, it has come to my understanding that Danilo is one of the most all the hotcake midfielders at the age of 20. At that level, you expect him to come in through and become maybe the next Casemiro, next Fabinho. And obviously, he's in the same footsteps like the likes of Casemiro, because Casemiro was bought from Brazil by Real Madrid and they loaned him to like 2-3 clubs. Then he came back and obviously fit in like a glove into that central defensive midfield area. of Real Madrid. So when you look at Arsenal, for them, they're not looking at Danilo to get him and loan him, because the newly appointed sporting director, Ed, remember he was a technical director, now he's the sporting director of Arsenal, is really so much brave to go on and really land this deal. It shows you how huge the scouting network of Arsenal is. When I was talking about players that Arsenal has been scouting yesterday in a video I did of Emily Smith-Rowe, I told you that look at Mikhailo Modric. No one knew about him. When he came in the Champions League and played very well, everyone is now talking about him. Very many clubs are really looking at him and trying to convince him to come to their clubs, so the boy wants to join Arsenal. And look at Danilo. Who was talking about Danilo? It was not until Arsenal went in for him. And obviously, when we saw that documentary of All or Nothing of Arsenal, we saw Edu showing us the plan that they target 3 players. If they're looking for a player to play into a certain position in the team of Arsenal, they make a short list of 3 players. Meaning that for the CDM position, maybe they're all after Tielemans, Danilo, maybe they've even wanted Paqueta. So they thought that Tielemans, if we put in £30 million, or 45 that Leicester wanted by then, it will be too expensive. Yet he's going to be cheaper in January, all free next summer. So they said, all right, we'll get him next summer or in January. For this player, for Danilo to come in through at Arsenal scouted him very well. So he's a perfect player to come and play into that midfield. I even did the video, I think like 2-3 days back, and I told the viewers of Rokani Media Football that Danilo coming in and Tielemans it's almost getting the blueprint of the double pivot of Thomas Partey and Grant Xhaka and putting in Tielemans and Danilo. Danilo is left-footed, Tielemans is right-footed, meaning that to be having a very swift and mobile midfield that can transit anywhere easily, you need to be having 2 players, one left-footed and one right-footed. And that's how things have gone ahead to change in the game of football. Remember, teams used to be playing with defenders who are right-footed. But now, any elite team will call for a defender who is left-footed to play on the left side of the central defense, and obviously a right-footed defender or central defender to play on the right side of the central defense. And you see Mikel Arteta, he's an engineer of this, and this is what he wants, because he knows that when Xhaka is playing on the left side of the midfield, obviously he is really great and passing that side is easy. The same applies to Thomas Partey, though for a right-footed player, it's obviously easy to switch the ball either on the left or on the right. So Danilo is being wanted by Arsenal, no doubts, but there is competition coming in from Ajax and Monaco. For this, you'll get afraid. You get? When you look at Monaco, it has good connections in Brazil, and they've signed very many good players. I think even Fabinho was in Monaco, and they look to be a team that can groom a player. And for Danilo and his agent, they might at a point say, all right, Ajax and Monaco are 2 great clubs. When we go there, we are assured of starting every game. And they might look through and say, when we go to Arsenal, what's going to happen? When you go to Arsenal, what's going to happen? So I believe that decision they are going to make, that is Danilo and his agent, is going to depend on who is going to go ahead and really get him enough playing time. You get? Who is going to go on and really get his client enough playing time. I believe Arsenal are left with one bullet in their gun, and that is Edu. I believe Edu is the only person to convince this player to come in and play, because he's Brazilian. He will tell him that there is a crop of Brazilian players here and they can really do the needful and get you into a mix and you start playing. But obviously, if Danilo wants his future to shine, I believe it's better to come in at Arsenal. And people are talking about Thomas Partey being a very good player, but remember, he's injury prone. You can't be afraid of Thomas Partey being a blocking factor into your game of football. And secondly, if Danilo believes that he's going to be the next thing, there is no reason for him to go to Ajax or Monaco. It's better for him to cut directly and come in at Arsenal. Reason being, Arsenal are are one of the teams that are on top of the Premier League table, and they're into the title winning contention of the Premier League. They are in the UEFA Europa League, FA Cup, though knocked out of the Carabao Cup, a tournament that I thought was useless for Arsenal if at all they were to keep their title hopes alive this season. So they got out. They were knocked out by Brighton. Maybe Mikel Arteta wanted to proceed further, but I believe it was really positive for them to get out. So for Ajax, Alvaro Martinez was denied his move to Chelsea on the deadline day by Ajax, meaning that Alvaro Martinez is also going to leave. So Ajax are really looking for a CDM who is going to come out and really replace this guy into the team of Ajax. And that's why they're eyeing Danilo. 20 million euros is really not so much money, and it will depend on what plan Arsenal are going to have. But I believe Arsenal will win this race of Danilo. I don't know what you think about Danilo and a man who goes by the names of Edu. Will Edu convince Danilo to come to Arsenal? That is the biggest question that we are all about. Arsenal has not been a team that has always gone all after a player whom they make their first approach and that club rejects. They just move on and really look for options. And I've seen that there is a central defense midfielder Arsenal is eyeing in who plays for Real Sociedad, and obviously is French, 30 years of age. So let's wait and see what that is going to happen. Let's go to the World Cup. There is something coming in from the two Arsenal players. They were included in the Brazilian national team. That is Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli. And Gabriel Jesus posted on Instagram and said, beginning my 2022 World Cup in Qatar journey with Arsenal teammate Gabriel Martinelli. Obviously, these two are really going to be so much pivotal into that Brazilian side. I believe Gabriel Jesus might not start ahead of Martinelli in the first game, but I know he's going to put in an effort that Tite will go on and accept that Jesus is better than Richarlison. To me, he's better. He adds a lot to the game. He has more goals and he creates more goals than Richarlison. He runs better. He has a very good skill set of really sitting down players. I believe they're really going to be so much pivotal into that team of Brazil down in Qatar. And I believe Brazil are really one of the title contenders. If at all you've not watched my predictions of the teams I really believe are going to win the World Cup, you can check onto my videos. I think it's the third last video. I did it yesterday. It's there on the timeline. You'll see who I thought is going to win the champions to win the World Cup. I believe even Brazil is among those teams, but my favorite is different. It's not Brazil, my first favorite, but Brazil is among my top 3 favorite teams to win the World Cup down there. Now, after Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli, we go to this 16-year-old Arsenal player. He's known as Miles Lewis-Skelly. Just 16 years old, has been selected to travel with the first team squad for their upcoming training camp in Dubai. Now, was he Nwaneri, that Arsenal guy who really came on in the game of Brentford? He played very well. I think it was the game of Spurs where that boy came in through. The game was 3-1 and they brought him on. He played very well to an extent that he was even called in the under-21s of England. That is Nwaneri, Nigerian, but I believe he has double citizenship, and I believe he will play for England because he's very talented. At his age, he's really immense. Mikel Arteta introduced him to the senior team of Arsenal. He has been training with the young team. Now, this other guy has also been included into the Arsenal squad, or the first team squad, for Arsenal's upcoming training camp in Dubai. And I remember Arsenal is going to play 2 games in Dubai. They're going to play against AC Milan and which other team. Then later they're having a game they're going to play against Juventus all at the Emirates, to come on and see what that team is all about. So it will be very much great, and we'll be eager waiting to see whether Miles Lewis-Skelly will feature in one of those games, or Mikel Arteta is really planning to really give him this hype and find him a team to play in the championship on loan, as he did for the Salas, the Patinos, the Okonkos. Very many Arsenal players are out on loan. There is the one at Birmingham, who is playing the midfield, that is really doing a very good job there. So let's wait and see what the 16-year-old has got for you, the Arsenal fans all over the world. Thank you guys for watching in. Tell me what you think about Arsenal facing Ajax competition on Danilo. And obviously, Monaco is also in the mix. Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli. Do you think Brazil is going to win the World Cup, or will they help Brazil win the World Cup? Because they last lifted it in 2002 down in South America, Japan and Tokyo. Sorry, that was Asia. Japan and South Korea had really hosted the World Cup. Rokani David is my name. Thank you for watching in. Smash the like button and obviously comment and share and subscribe, guys. We're left with close to 200 subscribers to hit 8,000 subscribers on this channel. Please and please continue subscribing. I'm out. May the Almighty Lord see you through tomorrow as the World Cup commences in Qatar. It's really going to be a very big one, and expect some match previews, post-match analysis on this channel of Rokani Media Football as far as the World Cup is concerned. Why not say goodbye for now? I'll return in 1 or 2 hours from now to let you know what has been updated to me in the world of football. Ciao, ciao.